don't know. It might be the weather, like why it keeps like bugging out for me. But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyways, let me actually start. I will actually cut that first bit for the first time ever. So, because I don't know, I'm so against like cutting content because if you say it, you got to own it.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree that yeah, everything can be useful, I suppose.
100%. But it's like one's like, oh no, shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have said that. When then don't say it. Like I like being as a comedian, if you say something on stage, you got to stand by it.
Yeah.
Everything on here, like I could cut stuff on here to make myself sound like the most perfect person in the world. But I say prickish things. But like you just got
Yeah. Yeah, own it. Yeah. Again, if you stutter on stage or whatever, you still got to acknowledge it. Do you know what I mean? Or yeah, say, or something happens, you've got to acknowledge it or move on.
but that's why I don't like. I'm always a bit weary of online at the moment because like like people like do like their reels of their like clips and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyone can do a perfect 10-second reel, but to see a 5 minute set or a 10 minute set where you slap the whole way through,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Um, yeah, because it could be like you could absolutely bomb, but your one joke does well. I see what you're saying.
mm,
I think that's why a lot of people do crowd work, just
mm,
because it's easier to, you can't really fake crowd work. You
no,
can't,
no, very true. But also, if you do enough crowd work, you are still going to get some. Your crowd work will be absolute dog all the way through. And
yeah, true.
I actually saw something as well where people have started doing this. They've like putting their mates like obviously in the as the audience, and they get them to heckle with something that they can just hit out the park.
Really?
And that is such good, like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah,
I've got the line already done. Boom, I've got the clip of it.
yeah,
Look at
yeah,
me,
yeah.
I'm a fucking great one. Like, I'm a great
Yeah.
crowd worker.
There's no point doing it. No point. You might, again, stand-up's like the only form that's like, you can do crowd work, so don't fake it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want that, go to a theatre or something, you know?
Yeah, and yeah, I think you would eventually get exposed down the line.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I actually do the introduction, don't I? Bloody hell. Hello,
Yes.
welcome to another episode. It's the longest one I've ever done without the introduction. Don't need to do it anymore. Welcome to another episode of Sit Down for Stand Up. I have with me today Scott Fishenden from, well, do I say Gravesend or do I say Longfield because of the station?
Yeah, let's say Longfield. Yeah, yeah,
Long. He's a Kent
yeah.
boy. Gang, gang. How's it going, Scott? You good, brother?
I'm good. You?
I'm good, cheers, good. So point of the podcast is to hear your story, how and why you got into comedy, your highs, your lows, times you killed it on stage, times you bombed it, crowd work, advice to new comedians, and hopefully just inspire a couple of people to get up on the stage and give it a chance. Obviously,
Okay.
not in Kent, we're saturated enough.
We are.
Anywhere else, we encourage anywhere else at the moment. So
Yeah.
Scott, we'll start from the beginning. Then, how did we get into comedy?
So I uh started, I had my first, I call it unofficial gig. It was when I was 16.
Okay.
Uh, and it was during COVID. And yeah, 16. And I did King Gong on Zoom, which was, yeah, comedy store,
Okay.
which was weird experience because I messaged, it sounds really nerdy. I messaged the guy. I said, oh, how'd you get into comedy? Like, how'd you do it? And he was like, oh, I've got a spot for you. Like 2 weeks later. And I was like, yeah, go on then. Like, that sounds great. I didn't know what a gong show was. I didn't know what any of it was. And yeah, I ended up doing it on Zoom. And because they cut it down to, instead of five again through 5 minutes, you have to get through three. And for the first time, I did a minute and something. And that was a very like long minute. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it was in Zoom, and I think it was Jared Christmas was emceeing it,
Okay.
who I've actually met in the meantime, which was I told him about it and stuff like that. Um, and then so I did two of them in Zoom. Again, Zoom gigs are awful. I don't know if you did any.
I haven't no because I started comedy about 3 months ago,
Oh,
but
okay.
I want to hear your bit first because I've got something in the works at the moment that I'm playing with
Yeah.
around Zoom and comedy. So I want to hear everything you've got to say unfiltered first.
I I really didn't like it because it
No,
was like, yeah, because you sort of, again, with a King Gong, it's already a lot of pressure, more than a normal gig anyway.
my
And I
first
remember just,
comedy store gong show.
was it? How'd you do?
Minute 23. But I told them all it was my first ever show, so I think I must have got like a minute 22 grace periods. And then they're like, no, yeah,
No,
let's fuck him off.
no,
Like,
I think that's a good start. I had a friend of mine where he went up, and on the same night as him, some guy got booted off after 16 seconds. And it's
when did he
like,
do it?
when did he do?
Yeah.
Oh, about a year ago, I think.
Right, okay, no, because
Yeah.
mine was 3 months ago and a guy lasted 7 seconds.
What?
Because
I,
he spoke, they realised he was from New Zealand.
oh no.
Off straight away. Which is a
But
bit harsh, but that's the arena. Like,
I guess that, like, if you want the biggest pressure ever, you go to the comedy store, right?
yeah,
It has so much history, and again, like, um, again for us, that's such a journey up there, and it's
yeah.
like, oh, but yeah, I've never done it in person, but the Zoom ones was really interesting, because again, like, I came off, like, um, I went on first as well. And again, it kind of gets to you, especially for your first gig. And I was like, oh, this is awful. I left the call and I'm like, I'm just sitting in my dining room now on my own in the dark. Just like it was the saddest thing I've ever, like the saddest gig ever. You know, it can't get worse than that. But um,
Was it streamed?
it was. I don't know if it's still up or anything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think it was Jared Christmas. And I spoke to him a few months ago at a gig. Really nice guy. And he said the exact same. He was like, he'll be sitting there till like midnight and then he'll be like, well, what do I do? This is awful. Um, but yeah, no, it was a good, it really pushed me on to do more stand up because I remember, again, the whole point of it is the MC rips into you, right? I don't know if you had the same.
As soon as I got off, it was like Daniel Farr, and
Uh,
then like
yeah.
when the MC gets the biggest laugh and over your expense, it's like okay, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I'm just yeah, it
That's
is
it.
what it is though. Like it's like
Yeah, yeah, because I think it was Joe Christmas again, really nice guy, and I don't know how to like it, but I think he was like, oh, like everyone here is like gonna be awful, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, that's pushed me. It actually pushed me to be like, no, I'm not gonna be awful. I'm gonna be all right at this, and it's all pushed me on. And then I properly started when I was about 19. It's about 3 years ago.
so how back onto the Gong Show thing. How did they fuck you off, or
You
did you deliver the whole set?
know, so you had to, so that you had the three judges as usual.
Yeah.
And they had to just hold up something red. Uh, and so you could only see the three judges. You
Hmm.
couldn't see anyone else. And I don't think you could hear anyone else. So you almost said it and was like, oh, like, is that all right? Is that not? It was so strange.
Mm.
Um,
Okay. Because yeah, I, I've I'm looking into doing a I go to my bit. What I was going to say, I was looking to start doing on every Monday or Tuesday a Gong Show online,
yeah.
but I was going to do it with like so get all your comedians, but have it as a vote poll in the comment section. You can vote yes or no, and
Okay.
if it hits over say 70% no, then
Hmm.
you fuck them off. But it won't be 5 minutes. It'll be you keep going till you get the 70% no, and then the winner of it will be obviously the one who lasts the longest, and then I'll like send them like 50 or 100 quid.
I think that's probably, it sounds nicer. It
Yeah,
definitely sounds nicer than the Gong Show.
but the only thing I can't figure out is the non-laughing.
Yeah. And the problem is it sounds weird, you don't want laughter because then everyone would be talking at the same time, you know?
Yeah, unless is there a way like you can make their laughs lesser? But then also the problem is like say there's like a 1 second delay. So you
Yeah,
do a joke, there's silence, and then the second, like 2 seconds later, it's like that would completely fucking throw
lit
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I guess my question to you is why on Zoom?
No, it'd be YouTube live streams, but you do
You should.
the interaction via Zoom. But then you just do, I would then do my
Mm,
screen shared as the YouTube live.
I see what you're saying.
And you can whack it on that Twitch, Kick, all of them all at the
Yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
time, and just do, yeah, like a weekly gong show. And then like maybe then do a weekly roast battle where you get two people on Zoom, they've got to mug each other off, and then the audience votes,
That'd be
like A or B who wins.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I think there's not much comedy online, but then is there a reason for that?
I I would personally say I think your best bet is to do in person. I really do.
100%, 100
Yeah.
percent. It's best to be in person. Because yeah, there's eh, everyone. If you've never been to a comedy club live, the difference. Oh, I'll ask you, Scott. What do you think the difference is between watching comedy online and actually being in the stores?
Uh, so much like again, it's you hear the laughter, you get that interact again, just small bits of interaction. Again, your crowd work, I think on Zoom there isn't much crowd work. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah,
you just sort of have to focus on one person. Um, you like I think you just feel the buzz of a room. You
mm,
really do, and you get a sense of the room, which I just don't think you can do on Zoom because everyone's separate. And are you more likely to laugh on your own? Because a few people on like King Gong, you saw like family sitting together, and I was like, that's quite nice. But like,
yeah,
but you also had like the occasional person sitting on their own, and it's like, oh, like I don't know, it's kind of whereas in a room, it's a community. You're bringing in these people for the probably the first time and only time ever, and every room's going to be different, I suppose.
yeah. The other bit I sort of challenge with it is because with new comics, sometimes you only, you could be delivering your set to like say like 4 or 5 people in the audience, 6, 7, like. So
That's
if it was online, would you be automatically guaranteed a bigger viewership? I don't know. It's something that I
yeah.
want to look into, and yeah, down the line. But I think you need to get like the hype first and people. So Scott, we'll go back to it then. So that was just like the
Yeah, no,
online
of course.
gong show I'm thinking about. So after COVID,
Yeah.
when was your first gig? What and like how
So
did it feel going from just doing it like this to
yeah. So I went to the University of Kent in Canterbury. Um,
Christ or Kent?
Kent.
Oh, okay, all right, just if I can shoot you down a bit. No, good.
Did you Christchurch?
No, no,
Oh, you did.
I was Brighton, not Sussex. So
Oh,
I,
oh, I
I was the
see.
crap butted down there.
No, I was fortunate to go to the better one. Uh, no, I did drama and theatre at there,
Mm,
and I sort of knew I didn't really want to be an actor. I
right.
wanted I wanted to be a comedy actor, but but they had like a module in the third year that did stand up only,
Mm,
um, which was a really cool module. But no, I did it start a second year,
mm,
and there was a night that went round, um, and it was like a neurodivergent night, and I was like, oh, for a first one, that might be a nice one to do, and it was like poetry, it was like spoken word, and I remember ringing my dad, and I was like, maybe this email's meant to be, maybe I've always wanted to do it in person,
mm,
maybe it's meant to be, so I just signed up, and I brought up like a piece of paper, I was shaking, I had all my notes on this piece of paper, but like. Yeah, it was just great. It was just such a nice room. Again, it's a really nice like gig anyway, but like it was just yeah, like people were talking to you on stage. It was just great to respond to them and to look at people. It sounds really weird. You look in and just being up on the stage was just incredible. And I remember it was only a 5 minute set, but I was about 3 minutes, and I was like, I remember thinking, I I can do this.
mm.
Like I'd love to do this, and I felt so comfortable. So. Um, Yeah, it's just that real-time feedback. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. And since then, how have your jokes evolved from running from the first time to where we are now?
There's, I think I have one joke that's from that gig still, which is
Okay.
crazy. It's sort of evolved and just more confident, but like it's along the same lines. I remember speaking about my anxiety and anxieties, and that's all stuck with me because that's just what
Mm.
I'm comfortable with. And yeah, I'm sort of just building off of them. I'm not one for like, I can't sit down and write for ages. I have to, it builds on top of it, or like when I'm practicing my set, like I'll improv. It sounds really, I'll improv crowd work like the nerd I am. Do you know what I mean? Um, and different responses, and you almost get prepared for it. And then you can just add to your set. If you go, oh, that's quite funny, I'll add that in. I'm not one for writing,
Are you gonna
really.
write like the whole script out, or just like the
No, I would.
keywords?
Yeah, so I started with scripts. Really started with script, and then I got it down to keywords, and now I'm at the point where I will just I'll just practice it every day.
Okay.
Um, literally one like I'll practice my 10 minute. So if I've got a 10 minute spot that week, I'll do my 10 minute. If I've got a 15, I'll
Mm.
practice my 15 for every day.
Okay.
And it just helps and um just helps you become comfortable. And again, like I enjoy a bit of crowd work, so I feel quite safe. I'm like, I do know it. I can come back to it. So,
Okay. And would you say like your 10 is your 5 with extra material, and then like your 15 is your 10 with extra material? Or do you like mix it up every time?
uh, I would say, my 15 is 10 with extra material.
Okay.
Um, I haven't, luckily, I haven't done a 5 in quite a while, so I couldn't even tell you what that is.
Mm.
But a 10, yeah, 10. Like I feel like it's solid. It is like I'm quite happy with it. But yeah, the 15 sometimes a bit of a oh, hopefully the crowd work lasts for about 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Um
Okay, so when it comes to crowd work, how do you sort of go about it, and how would you deal with hecklers on stage?
uh so so my whole persona is about being anxious, awkward, which I,
Okay.
I love, and that brings a good bit of it brings me a good safety net. So what I'll like I've got two bits in my set where I'm like I will speak to the audience now and I can very much shut it down because I'm awkward. So like
Okay.
if it's not going anywhere, I can go okay and then move on to something else. I know it doesn't sound the most glamorous and the most intelligent, but like that's what I really enjoy doing and see where stuff go. I enjoy when things people say the weirdest stuff, right? I don't know why audiences do it. They always feel like the need to reveal a secret. Um, but like, yeah, that's how I sort of do crowd work. I don't know. Like, I'll do a very like. There's a joke in my set about air fixes. I really love air fixes. I've got a few planes in the back, but like, I'll speak to people about that, and then if they don't have an answer, that's fine. But if they do have an answer, that's even better.
Hmm.
So.
Okay. So would you say like when you like do ask the crowd questions, doesn't matter what how they answer, you know how you're getting out of it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's always good to have a it's pretty much good to have an answer for everything.
Hmm.
If you've got again you're like I don't know if you have you started sort of doing crowd work.
Not really. Okay. My crowd work is was it closed end questions?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
like I've got like a couple of ones like I'm only 5 foot, I'm 5'10", I don't any short people in the audience. I'd ask you to stand, but there's no point. Like
Yeah.
simple ones like is anyone gay in the build? Is anyone gay here tonight? Oh, thanks for coming out. Like just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Just yeah.
it's safe at the moment. I
That,
know where I'm going with it. Um,
yeah.
yeah. So
That's important because I think people see the clips online. I did it and I'd be like, oh, I must ask people what their job is. But I'm like, I don't have enough experience or the skill set to then make a joke about it.
hmm,
So I've tried all of that, but like yeah, close-end questions or ones you know are going to lead on to something else. You might go, oh, what do you do for a job? I did this as a job. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, like you need an escape route. I remember my teacher at uni, he was like, crowd work is like a storybook, like a you remember like the choose your own adventure ones.
Yes.
It's like that, and then that will lead somewhere, and um yeah. So I do enjoy doing it. I really enjoy doing crowd work.
Yeah. I'm still a little bit nervous about it, but I think that it purely would just come with experience, wouldn't it? The more times on stage,
That's it. I think that the more I've noticed is if I go. Because what I used to do is I'd be like, I've got a 10 spot, I've got 6, 7 minutes of material, and then I'll do crowd work for the last three. That's way too much pressure.
yeah,
What you want to do is have 10 minutes of material ready, and then if crowd work happens, that's fine. You're not putting too much pressure on yourself to do it, or you're not forcing an interaction. Um, Again, not everything's going to be a clip.
no.
So
Yeah. Do you have bits like say like you allocate, for 10, you got 10 minutes worth of work and hopefully do 2, 3 minute crowd work. If the crowd work overextends, do you have like a process in your mind to say which bits you're then gonna chop?
yeah, I sort of have to look down at my watch and go, oh, I better make a decision here. Um, Usually what I do is go on to probably the last joke. If I'm like close to 10 minutes, probably the last one. Um, yeah, it's a hard, you really have to make a decision on stage, which is difficult. And then you're trying to remember what's coming up next. And um, yeah, you do have to sometimes chop some bits.
Like, how do you like segment your bits? Like, so story A is 3 minutes long, story B is roughly 2 minutes long. So, do you know what I mean? If
So
I've got 3 minutes left, oh, okay, I can do that one, not that one.
yeah, so yeah, so luckily I'm not much of a storyteller as well. So I've got mine are a lot shorter, so I'll be like, that's 30 seconds, that's a minute. So I can, whereas like probably to storytellers probably do find it difficult to cut out a whole chunk.
Yeah,
But yeah, in my
because
mind I'll be like, I I I should because I practice in the other room with my watch on, I will go. It's like timing almost like a race. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Be like at 20 meters, I should be at this time. So I've sort of got that roughly. I'll be like, after this joke, I'll be at 2 minutes.
Hmm.
So
Mine is like more storytelling, but I would say I've got I've got at the moment my core 10 is um about a minute of being fat,
yeah,
standard. About 4 minutes of my twin.
yeah,
But I'm so happy with like that. I'm so happy with it now. Like the twin bit, no matter what I do,
yeah.
the twin bit's going in it.
Stays it nice.
It's like
Yeah.
it's so there. It goes on the prince like so. My twin's a doctor. I'm not. I was always like the afterthought on the birthday song, like like they didn't bother
Nice.
reblowing my candles. Like the aunt always comes up, would I like a bit of Nick's cake? It's like just
Yeah,
like they've
yeah, yeah.
got it. I'm
Nice.
so happy with it now. It's always there. But I've only
Yeah.
probably got about three stories in a 10 minute,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what parts to chop out of a story. Then like, does it
Yeah.
all come together to
I,
make the perfect story, or can you?
I think again, if you're most confident with your twin bit is you make sure it's in there,
Yeah.
and then everything else is almost extra or yeah, it'd be interesting if you could even get that twin bit over to like 10 minutes and then introduce the stories in between.
Okay, so you got like use that as like I don't know, like the stem of the tree.
Yeah, because so my again my set's not perfect at all, and like I've only been going 3 years, so I'm not. But like my whole set is anxiety, and then I'll go um looking young, uh my being autistic, uh air fixes, driving, and then it all comes under anxiety. Um, so I don't know if you could do that, like being a twin, and then like your opening joke about was it being fat? Did you?
Well, but the way I used to open my joke is the way I start it, and this is Like it's gone well in most places. I did one in a Shoreditch and I lost them in the seconds. But I am going to rewrite it. It basically goes, oh, you know, I'm not a fan of the left. They made it so you can't laugh at fat people anymore. Makes this job a lot harder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's always like my opening bit. But
Okay.
I might, do you know what I mean? Like, but I've lost the crowd instantly on that where they think, oh, he doesn't like the left. But then that's just the crowd being stupid.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not atting the left. It's just a quick.
yeah, quick. I would almost put that later on because then they know what you're like.
Hmm.
I used to start off with like uh jokes about being awkward and it pisses people off because they're like, well, this guy is actually awkward and this isn't great. You want them to know that they're safe with you. And then again, any jokes about like sex, never put at the beginning
Yeah.
unless it's like you know exactly who you are. You want to go, here's who I am first. Here's everything else. Um, even the twin stuff. But yeah, you want them to feel safe with you. And I think like when you go, I hate the left, uh, you know that's not true,
Hmm.
right? But
Oh, maybe I could just change it to like, oh, comedy's not where it used to be. You can't laugh. But now I instantly feel like I'm starting off preachy.
yeah, or see the only way I say it like put it on later is if you go, oh, it's not where it used to be. You can be ironic with it, and people know you're being truthful.
Hmm.
Whereas if like you come out on stage and go, I hate the left or this and that, they're gonna go, but we know nothing about him. He clearly does hate the left.
Well, the other one I tried out, and I'm really proud of this joke. So but I opened it so appallingly. So okay, so I'll just do the bit real quick. It's I started off awfully. It was like I am against gay marriage, and that's the opening bit. But hear me out, because instantly they're pissed off instantly, and it goes along the lines of when a man and a woman get married, a woman's workload increases by 6 hours, a man's workload decreases by an hour. So that's why gay people are gonna like like basically like rule the world because they've got extra time on their hands. It's why they always look good. It's why I joke because
That's
they've got the extra time.
yeah, yeah.
So then and then it ends with oh maybe if I sucked enough dick I could get myself a girlfriend. Like
Nice. That's
but
it.
I tried to start it with the shock value because obviously
Yeah,
I'm not against gay marriage, but it's like oh they've got an upper hand, they've got an advantage on us. It's
yeah,
like
that's yeah. I think that twist is yeah, really good. Uh, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of potential like in that.
yeah,
I like that.
I was, I was quite happy with that one. But
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, you're really twisting it because people are going to be like, "What? Like, what has this guy said?" And then you've twisted it, which is quite. That's quite.
if they don't, the only problem is I think sometimes like with the great respect to the audience, sometimes they might not get it. They'll get hung up on a certain words. And would I lose them straight away, or would it be the shock value? And they'll be like, "Oh, I want to hear what he has to say about this. I'm ready to
Hmm.
I'm ready to attack."
Yeah, I think that opening line really brings to. It's either going to shock people or the people that go, I want to hear about this, or like I might agree with this, which definitely shouldn't, but like you don't want them audience. So I think did you say you're open with it?
No, tried opening with it, and yeah, it's sort of. But it was the first time I did it. I think I said it, and then I tried to defend myself instead of just committing to the bit.
A little bit.
Like I said,
Yeah,
like not cutting anything on the podcast. If you say it, you've got to own it. And
yeah.
I don't think I did own it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to be 100% confident with everything, really. It's
Hmm.
interesting. There's a really this is going to be a bit of a sick, but there's a really good clip of Mickey Flanagan at the Comedy Store, which I keep coming back to his set because he goes, he's exactly who I am. And that's what you, and then everything else, is, I think is one of his early, like, probably he was like a few years in. It's a really great set, and I'd really recommend watching it. Like, it really goes, here is who I am. It's it like, and I think that's the first 2 minutes of any set. Um, but again, then you get the shock factor of that joke. If you did that first, you also get the shock. But
Mm.
I would always put the way I feel more comfortable with it is putting it later on.
Mm.
Um, because
Okay.
then they trust you.
Okay. Because I had this bit when I was getting the train back last night, and I want to put this in my set, and I was laughing to myself at it. There was a Palestine march yesterday in London, and there was a woman like sitting like next to me on the train back, and she kept trying to talk to me about the march, and all I kept on responding to her was, "Oh, how many steps did you do on the march?"
That's
Like,
okay.
like talking about like her like how many steps. I was like, also, oh, I'd be so annoyed if I went on that march and my my Apple Watch it died halfway through. I'd think it wouldn't have been worth it.
I see that.
I can see her get a little bit annoyed because I wasn't like insulting her. I was putting down, but it was all about like, oh, it's a good day for exercise.
That's
Two birds, one stone.
that's interesting. I think I guess that what came to my mind was there was like you either didn't know, you didn't know she was talking about March. She could be like, "Oh, were you there like today?" And you were like, "Oh, like what do you mean?" I don't know. You could even mix it up with the comedy store. Do you know what I mean? Like, were you there? Or like, it's a hard one again because the whole like Palestine,
Yeah.
um, Israel thing is crazy right now.
Yeah,
I,
it's hard. I have got one. I've got one thing on it, and it is such a. I'm not an either party. It's if say if I do a joke that sucks,
hmm.
I go, "Oh, call me Israel," because that just bombed.
Yeah, because
It's not putting a foot in either camp,
you're
and
it's a real hard one because I think we're getting into the politics of war, aren't we? Like it you always want to punch down at what you always want to punch down at the right thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's a hard one. It's a real hard. I see where you're going with that joke. Um,
people have said to me, "It's like, oh, you chose to say it on stage, so it must be something you're passionate about." And I'm sort of like, well, no, I just want to say it because it's funny.
yeah. I would even be like with the whole March thing. I would go like, here is what I think. I think the marches are great and be on their side. But I also couldn't help being me.
Yeah.
That's what it like you yeah, I would sort of do it like that because I see what you mean about it. Yeah, it is quite a funny bit about I think the word Palestine, Israel is gonna put people on edge. So
Yeah.
you've got to prepare for that. Um, but yeah, I would go like I'm a supporter of Palestine and his, but I couldn't help being me.
It wasn't on the march. I mean, it was literally on the train back. Like,
That's the
I have
thing.
no feelings about anything. I have to
Yeah.
just stay neutral. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, I'll go back onto you. So, obviously, we're doing comedy. What is I've started asking this question a little bit, and I love it so much. What is a joke you've written that you've performed that you thought absolutely killed, but looking back, you think, why did I think that was funny?
I had a whole bit. I can't remember the jokes, but I had a whole bit about service state, like service stops,
Yeah.
like services, and I was like, there was just no jokes, and I was like, why? Why was that funny? Like, why? Why did I think that was funny? I think the potential was there.
Hmm.
I did nothing with it. Do you know what I mean? Um,
And how many times would you try a joke on stage before you either like pull it to your arsenal or get rid of it?
when I first started, probably about 10 gigs at a time.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, it is 2 or 3 gigs. I think three is like a good number.
Yeah. And how
Um,
often do you gig now?
I aim once a week
Yeah.
at least. Twice is great. Um, three
Always
times is
London.
no. I rarely do London actually. I go everywhere but
Mm.
um, so Hertfordshire, Essex. Um, been up to like Felixstowe.
Mm.
Um, yeah, London. London's a lot of bringer gigs, right?
I was going to go on to bring in spots. Like, what are your thoughts and feelings on them?
I personally, they're not for me. I see the starting out. I think they're all right, and then
Mm.
living in London, I think you're all right.
Mm.
Again, I'm not against it. Like, I'm not totally against them. I just because
Yeah.
I think it's quite a nice community space. Like, if you want it as a hobby, I think it's quite nice bringing someone along. But I think there's a certain point where you go, I don't know if I can do this for much longer. Um,
Okay, so okay, I agree with that. Starting out, you want to get a bit of content, you want to get a bit of stage time, guaranteed stage time
that's it.
in front of actual people. But there's so many times I've been to, no, I've not been to, that was a lie. So many times I've heard stories of bringer gigs, but when they performed, they've all just left.
Yeah, yeah, that can happen. But
Because
then
where you're guaranteed to be in front of, like 100 people are gong shows at
that's it.
a young level.
But yeah, it's a hard one because I think they do try and stay. Again, I've been to gigs where it hasn't been a bringer gig, and then like everyone's left because half the audience are racks anyway. So like, I don't know. I think the benefits of bringer gigs are it's a nice community. They are nice communities, and because it's a room of friends. Do you know what I mean? And people that keep coming back. But could you do it for the next 5 years? Maybe not. Again, for anyone outside of London, it's hard bringing someone up to London.
Yeah.
If you're in London, it's probably all right. You go, oh, do you want to come along?
Mm.
I think the rule of what do you call it? A lot of like you have to have a bringer is hard because not everyone has that.
Yeah, I mean, I would I challenge it because I did a comment on a couple of them, and I was like, look, I don't have friends who would want to come to this, but I can promise you, I'll drink 8 pints.
Yeah,
Like, if you want like
yeah,
the money side, do not worry, I've got me and three others covered.
yeah. That's
Like,
it.
but if it's bums on seats, I can't. I can take up 2 seats. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I can't guarantee. And if any of my mates would come to it, they would want to come and have a chat.
yeah. Rather than watch.
Yeah, do you mind coming with me, watching me for 5 minutes and sitting in silence for
That's
the
it.
next 2 hours, please?
Well, because I guess that's the thing with bringers that they are coming to see you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
per se. I wouldn't look to do them anymore.
No.
Um,
How long have we been going actually like to go into? Because I know we started in COVID, the
yeah.
online bits. How long have we been doing?
So just over 3 years.
And how long did it take you to transfer from doing fives to then tens, 15s? How was that process, and how did you sort of get your first 10?
So uh fives was maybe a year in, but I wasn't like, oh, I'll perfect a five. Do you know what I mean? I'll go straight into a 10.
Yeah.
And then so like weirdly I got into tens quite quickly.
Mm,
Um, which that took a real while to perfect, right?
mm,
So I feel like I'm at a point, I've been at for a few months now where I'm like, I'm happy with my 10. I really am happy. Um, and and then I haven't weirdly done five since, but 10, I'm like, yeah, I would say it took me 3 years to perfect a 10.
okay, because I've got
And
my
again,
first 10 next Saturday.
are you looking forward to it?
Mate, um, yes and no. Okay. This will be my 10th gig,
Oh well. Okay.
and I'm part of me feels one is even is my five good enough yet, let alone I mean I've got a Word document and it's 53 pages of written
Wow.
material. Like
Yeah.
I've got a lot of material, but a lot of it's not tried and tested. Okay, the question I will ask is, should you push yourself up as quick as possible, even if you don't feel you're ready? But you was never ready to get on stage for the first time. You was never ready
Mm.
to do your first gong show. You're never ready to do your first 5 minutes. Are you ever ready to do your first 10 until you just go do it?
I yeah, I don't I think unless you're like a writer and then like you'll never get a 10 straight away. Like
Mm,
it will just be all your material mashed together. So like that's what it was for me. And I think when you do it, you're gonna enjoy it way more than a five. Because a five you're going, I must get this out. I must get all my jokes out. I can't do any crowd work, no way. And whereas a 10, you slow down, you breathe, you go, you can interact, you can, and it's fine. Like even if you don't even if you do an eight, that's
yeah.
fine. Um, it's like a five, you're like, well, if I do 4 minutes, it feels like a wasted journey.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? I have to hit a five. So like a 10, you'll just so much more breathing room, right? And that's why I found with a 15, again, I've only done a few 15s, but like it's so much more freeing. You feel more of a person.
mm,
You feel more like, no, I can explain who I am. I can explain in detail. I can slow down. I can be interrupted. If I want to be interrupted, that's fine.
mm.
Whereas a five, you want to get it out, and a ten's like a really good point. You can do both, so I think you will enjoy it.
Okay. So was you nervous? Like, like nervous going on the first time, nervous for your five. Did all them nerves come back again on your first
I
10?
I I think so because you're like I've got to remember all of it now. You're remembering double the amount, right?
Yeah.
So
And I
so
don't think you can ever bring a script on stage for a 10.
no, I the only thing I would say is to write
Right.
on your hand.
Yeah.
But I again for your 10th gig, like that's fine. Like I'll just try and remember it.
Mm,
Again, I think write on your hand is there as a safety net. Um yeah, but I think I can't quite remember what my first 10 was, but it was I think it was more remembering. How do I remember everything?
mm,
Um, Again, same with a 15. When I do like first time I did a 15, I was absolutely breaking it.
mm.
So,
Because yeah, it does last a lot longer on stage than what you
mm,
initially anticipate. Okay, so I will ask then because we've been doing it for 3 years.
yeah.
Um, in your time of 3 years, what has been your favourite moment on stage, and what time did we bomb the hardest?
But it's bad bomb the hardest comes first. Like I remember I t there was two, right?
Cool.
There was one I was doing a 15. So it was 7, 8 months ago and I was doing all right. I was doing all right. It wasn't like I still wasn't happy even with my 10, so I shouldn't have been doing a 15, but like I really appreciate the spot. And I I I got to 14 minutes, right? No, I got to about 12, 13, and I panicked. And I was like, well, I've got to do crowd work now, which is like number one awful. Like, and then I started going around the room because it worked before. I did a set where I literally asked everyone in the audience what their job was,
Yeah.
and then basically went like, and then so I did that, and then this lady, I someone went, oh, I'm a doctor or whatever, and I went, oh, I don't have any jokes on the NHS or whatever, and then this lady just went, uh, or she was like, or do a joke or something. She was like,
Oh.
I'll do a joke, and I was like, oh, I've lost it. Do you know what I mean? And the like I've never had, and the ground just dropped,
Mm.
and um, yeah, I would, I think now I could probably deal with it, but like. that rocked me. It was hard because I've been working for like 2 years, 2.5, 3 years at this.
Mm.
And you said that's the one line you never want to hear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then the second one was it was a really weird table, and they were just heckling all night
Mm.
at everyone, and then um, yeah, they just got drunk and drunk, and it was just awful. So that was another one, but that wasn't like a defining moment. That was just an awful gig anyway. Um, but yeah, no, I've bombed a lot. It happens.
Everyone has. That's the
That's
beautiful
it.
thing. Like every single, I've not spoken to one comedian out there who hasn't had a moment where they've just like,
That's it.
yeah,
Yeah, like I have been lucky that it hasn't been awful, and I've sort of got like over it and stuff. Um, Again, sometimes I've done it to blank faces. I've done it to four blank faces.
mm.
You just learn to deal with it. You just get
Yeah.
character building.
Good. And what was your favourite moment on stage?
I it was it was actually the gig I did with Jared Christmas.
Okay.
It was for a really good friend of mine. He's a really nice guy. He's called Tom Toll. Really nice guy. Um, and he he runs a series of gigs where he'll have like headliner, opener, middle spot, and he luckily gives me the middle spot. Really nice guy, really great comedian. And so he offered me this with Jared Christmas, and I was already bricking it because he did my first gig, and it's Jared Christmas, and with Hannah.
Bald dude.
Say that again.
Is he the bald dude?
No, he's got like a big beard. I think he's got like curly hair. He's
Mhm. Okay, yeah, I know who you're on about.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's in the back of my mind the whole pod.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know who you're on about. Yeah, cool.
And then I was on with Hannah Bichkovsky. She was brilliant as well.
Mm.
But she was like super nice as well. So again, the higher you go, like the one bit of advice I got given early on, the higher you go up, the less egos you get, which is crazy.
Do you know what? I can vouch for that just by speaking to people on the podcast. I mean, I've had Ali
Yeah,
Woods, Alistair
yeah.
Barry, do you know,
Oh
Ed
yeah,
Brimson. I was with to
yeah.
Lou Conran. Like these, do you know, what I mean, they are as good
Yeah,
as
really nice
you
people.
get, and the nicest,
Yeah,
absolute, not no ego, just
that's it.
normal people. And that's what's also quite nice doing is seeing them in their natural habitats. Because
Yes,
I
yeah.
am nosy, I do look at the backgrounds.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just
yeah. No, I'm just I did a gig with I did a gig with Alistair Barry. He won't
he's a lad. He's so
yeah,
good.
I did it with so when I was at the uni, they ran a uni night.
Yeah.
And he always used to get a pro headliner, pro opener, and then like 3 minute with student spots. So I saw Alistair Barry, he was incredible. I was like, this is like peak.
Yeah.
But yeah, that gig with Jared Christmas, and so it was a 15, and it's just a great night anyway. And I came up to middle spot. I was bricking it. I was absolutely bricking it. And I went on and I was like opening a few jokes, like did all right. And then I got into it and I was like, this is incredible. This is the moment. I was like, yeah, I am confident in what I can do. Um, I'm happy with how I do it, and it just felt great. I felt most comfortable because
Mm.
like I on stage, I really enjoy just being weird and being a bit awkward and a bit. It sounds really weird, but like when I'm awkward, that's me comfortable. I love playing up to it. I love like almost acting on stage as awkward, and it was happening that night, and I was like, "This is brilliant. This is great," and I was beaming. And then again afterwards, I saw Joe Christmas. So I was like, "This is even better."
I love
Um,
them when it's everything you do just hits
that's
and
it.
you
Yeah.
feel indestructible. And yeah. So being so doing 3 years, you obviously gigged with a lot of comedians. You haven't got to give me any names, but what is the worst thing you've seen someone do on stage?
Hmm. I don't think I've ever seen anything outrageous, I don't think. I know that's quite a boring answer, but I can tell. I think something will come to me probably. I don't think I've ever seen, which is probably quite good. I've never seen anything outrageous.
Mm,
Um, Again, that's the thing. Everyone bombs. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? I've I saw someone talk about um, the problem with neurodivergent adults. That was
mm,
pretty bad, and they got called out on it. And I was like, this is painful. And
mm,
again, I bring that one up because the guy shouldn't have. You shouldn't have that mindset.
yeah.
Like like come on, and yeah, they got called out on it, and it wasn't great at all.
But
Um,
do you think being a comedian, you can joke about anything?
yeah, yes. But I think one quote I saw, I was like, it was you can joke about anything, you just have to be clever enough to make it a clever joke.
Yeah. No,
So
fair answer.
so like everything, I would say never
Hmm.
punch down at anything unless you've set maybe if you set up a persona of like you can, but you know all the best comedians they never punch that like it might seem like they do. Mickey Flanagan, like I think he's a great comedian.
Oh, okay. I love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
But you might go, oh, he jokes about his wife, but he doesn't because he always goes, well, I'm the stupid one.
Yeah.
Or like it's over really stupid stuff. Like I saw one at like his newest show. It must have been a year ago now or something. And like his wife like pushed him to go outside to speak to a load of builders to get him to stop working. And
Mm.
he comes back and he's like, oh, can you make a few sandwiches for him? And stuff like that because they recognized him. But I'm like, technically that is it's really stupid punching down. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like, yeah, you sort of just I think you can joke about anything. You just have to own it and make it a joke you've never heard before.
Okay. Oh, that actually follows on. So where I was yesterday, just watching them perform, and like I said it off camera, it was so refreshing going to watch comedy
Mm.
as a comedian and not having to perform. Like it was so nice
Yeah,
just
yeah,
watching it because I was able to get drunk. Do you know what I mean? I was able to
yeah,
like look at a different perspective. And one thing I've noticed being a comedian, I'm laughing out loud a lot more. I'm appreciating jokes a lot more.
yeah. See, because yeah, I sit there and I'm an almost a bad audience member because I'll sit there and listen. I don't always laugh.
Utilizing it.
Yeah, which I shouldn't do because if I had saw that on stage, I was like, oh, I haven't got 'em. But no, I went down to Comedia a few weeks ago.
Brighton.
Yeah,
Mm,
and I saw Chloe Petts, Tamsin Kelly, Darren Griffiths,
mm.
and Sharon Wanjahi, which I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And I was just like, this is brilliant. It's great. Like,
Mm.
yeah, you go, oh, that's a really. I'm almost predicting punchlines,
Yeah.
and then they take it somewhere else. I'm like, well, that's why you're pro.
Yeah.
Like, um, yeah, it was a
Mm.
I just enjoy comedy more. I'm probably the same as you. Just being in this world, you just love it, right?
Yeah.
You want to consume so much of it.
Wholeheartedly. But the one with yesterday, like I say, it was a gong show. It was about 12 on. There was a couple of absolute killers on there.
Mm.
Yeah, they never gave like 1 year, 2 years. They were doing so like they were brilliant. But there was two on there. I'm not gonna say anything about like names or anything, but they were obvious joke thieves.
Oh,
When you
really?
watch enough comedy,
Yeah,
you and you know when you're hearing someone do a bit you've heard someone else do.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Do you think they should be called out? Or do you think they will expose themselves eventually? Because their whole set was I've seen it was okay. Their whole set was a set I've seen Ryan Long. It was Ryan Long's
oh,
comedy.
okay.
I've seen him do it. I'm
Yeah,
not saying I watched him do it. And I
yeah.
was like, you've literally done word for word his
Okay.
set.
Yeah, I
Should as a
would.
comedian you call them out on this? Like, because you are sort of taking away the skill.
That
Will they expose themselves down the line eventually?
it's a hard. I had the same experience when I was at uni. Like I was part of the society, and we ran a few gigs, and um, we had a guy come on from outside uni. He pretty much. I think he just started out. He pretty much word for word Lee Evans set.
Oh, that's a hard one to copy.
It's a very
That
hard
is
one.
like,
Yeah, especially if you don't have the energy. Do you know what? And
and if you don't sweat, you're fucked. So,
well, yeah, yeah. But that's why. So like, that's why it sort of didn't work. And I just went up and I was like, I wouldn't ever go on stage and go, "You stole a joke," right? I would always go up afterwards and go, "I think this is Lee Evans' joke." Well, that was clearly copied. You know what I mean? But sometimes like a one-liner, you go, "Well, maybe they didn't know."
yeah, because
Uh,
enough times, yeah, do you know what I mean? There's enough
Yeah,
comedians out there. There is, yeah,
yeah.
100%.
I would just go up to, and I think maybe you should call it out. I think maybe just afterwards and be like, I think maybe this is whoever's set or
Hmm.
um yeah, it's a hard one. Again, word for word, like you're saying,
Hmm.
that's
But
probably wrong.
it was because it was a Gong Show as well, and he didn't. They didn't win. Oh, I just said he didn't. I really. They didn't win, and but they got through. And it's
Hmm.
all like, well, there's people here who they're doing their own stuff. It's not going as well, but do you know what I mean? It's their own skin. So
Yeah.
it did stick me up a little bit, but then I thought, well, who am I to go say anything? Like,
Mm.
because the episode that comes out tomorrow is Ali Woods, and he had his moment when he was starting out. He did Comedy Store Gong Show, and he did this hair thing like this that
Yeah.
he made up. It was his own stuff, but
Mm.
someone in the audience shouted, "You stole that from Sean Locke." Mid
Really?
set, mid set, and he got booed off stage. And he was like, "I didn't steal it," because he didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
But someone said he did, and
Did
he just lost 300 people.
really? No,
So you've
since
got, if you're right, you've got to be 100% right.
there was um in Lee Mack's book, I don't know if you've read it, he talks about I think he talks about that on stage and someone goes, that's someone else's joke and like he talks about just the world falling apart. And I think that's probably over what I said earlier. I think that's one of the worst things you can hear. Even if you're wrong,
Yeah.
people will just think it. Like the audience will think it. Um,
Yeah.
it's a hard one to get out of.
Yeah. It always reminds me of the Ali G in the house film. It's like, well, at least I didn't suck off a horse. And it's like, have you not seen Ali G in the house?
No, I haven't.
Basically, he's debating like someone
Yeah.
professional, and he's losing the debate, and
Yeah.
then he goes, well, at least I didn't suck off a horse. And
I
like
just,
somehow he transcribes that the opposer did actually end up sucking off a
yeah,
horse, and he ends up winning the debate. It was like, it's like what Trump does in the things. He'll
yeah.
be like, "Shut up, he's an idiot. He's a massive idiot." And like, no matter what, everyone now thinks he's an idiot,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
regardless.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. You just how do you back it up? You
You
can't go,
can't.
"This is my joke. I've written it here," and
Yeah.
unless you
Here's
go
the
get your
Word
notepad.
document.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
so I'm against 100% against joke thieves, just like everyone is in the industry. But then I'm going to be devil's advocate here. If they say such a new comic and they just want to get the confidence on stage, would that be okay, or is it never okay?
I would probably say never
Yeah,
because I think
I agree 100%.
yeah, I think because I think you can I think anyone can write a joke even if it's awful. You can still or like when at uni when we studied the course, we had a really fun lesson um where he was like, just tell a joke and make it different. I think you can do that.
Mm.
I think you can use like a knock knock joke and make it different because then that's more about you.
Yeah.
So like we studied um Rick Mel and Adrian Edmondson as the Dangerous Brothers.
Fucking yeah. One
They, and
goats. Goats. All right.
yeah, and their jokes were very much about it was like something about I think it was like a blueberry in an elevator or something. It was a really like
Well,
standard joke.
I think their best stuff was their bloopers.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
times
definitely.
they fucked up on stage are
Yeah.
they that is where I think their true comedy. Jeez. Also, Rick Mao, Lord Flashheart, one of the best characters I've ever seen.
But definitely, but a lot of his so like I'm not putting him down at all, but like a lot of his jokes as like even in the outtakes, right, were just cheap one-liners, right? He would just say a one-liner to the audience. But what was funny was it was him. It was him and him saying these silly jokes and him thinking they were incredible is like perfect, right? So I think you can go up and do that. You go, you just change how you say it.
Yeah, and I guess say if I went on stage tonight and I regurgitated all them same one-liner jokes, they're not going to hit because I'm not him.
No, no, or yeah, especially if you try to perform it in the same way, right?
Oh yeah, it'd be absolute
So
bomb.
you would have to do it in your own way, and I would do it in my own way, and but I think if you're doing it like first time, it's probably not best because you're trying to just copy someone else.
Yeah, you haven't
That's
found
it.
yourself on stage. You haven't found your own
Yeah.
persona.
Yeah, if you go, oh, like I want to be Rick Mel on stage, you go, no, be John
So
yourself.
did you from the off go? Did you have the you know persona you've got now? You know, like the awkward.
Oh,
Or
so
did you try starting off being really confident and jolly, and then
so I think the first time I was on stage, I was bricking anyway. So like the persona was awkward and anxious,
because you was
but
awkward and anxious?
yeah, because I was, and then I tried. I'm gonna be the cool sit down guy, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm not that,
Yeah.
and then I'd be like, oh, I want to do like because I used to. It sounds really nerdy. I went through a phase of watching James Acaster, and I was like, "Oh, he does sad bits in his set, so I'm going to talk about sad things." It's like, no, because it doesn't work in a 10-minute set.
Mm.
You can't be happy and then sad and then happy again.
Yeah.
You want to do that
You're
over an hour.
bipolar.
Well, yeah. So it's very, yeah, very all over the place. And then I sort of just got more comfortable doing this, and um, again, people see right through you.
Yeah.
If you be something else, you're not. They'll go again when I walk on stage. They'll go, well, here's my what I think of him already.
Yeah.
So if I change that mindset, it all goes out the window.
Well, that's the thing. Like, say we like gong shows. The one I went to yesterday, 12 acts, four got through, and within the first 10 seconds, I called it. They can get
Really.
through. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like they've lost them. Like it's
Yeah.
like because it is that instant impression.
That's it. And I think all the best comedians or like all the pro comedians really fit into a column, right? You can explain them in about 5 words.
Mm,
So like even like Alistair Barry, he is just in this. I'm not saying like he's limited to that at all, but I'm saying like you can sum him up in about 5 words probably.
mm,
And like that's how you know someone is going to make it, I think,
mm.
because you can go, here's exactly what I know about them, and I feel comfortable with that. Um, Whereas I think if you haven't found that yet, again, I haven't found it yet, so it will come, I'm sure,
So you've got to
when I
find your
get to
five
it.
words. I got. I'll end it on this last question, Scott. If you had to give advice to a new comedian, someone who's worried about getting on stage for the first time,
Yeah,
bit nervous, what advice would you give them?
I think I think I think everyone says it. Just do it. Just
Honestly, Nike
yeah.
should fucking sponsor this podcast. I'll tell you much. How many times I've heard just do it. That is Nike, isn't it?
I'm sure you've heard that other people have said that, right?
Oh, just do it. Oh, it is
Yeah,
Nike. That's the logo in it. Like that is
yeah,
their.
yeah, yeah. No,
Okay, cool. I do get mugged. I'm not a sporty person. I don't want to get mugged off there.
no, it won't. No, but like I think a lot of comedians will just say, just get on stage, just do it.
Yeah.
And I always say, just be you, be
Mm,
yourself. Like you are the funniest person.
mm.
Like there's no point being someone else. You can take inspiration, but like I would always say, just be yourself. And I know that sounds like quite like an American teen romance, but
Yeehaw.
be
Yeah.
yourself.
No,
Uh,
I 100% agree. 100% agree. And the one I always like to think is, even say worst case scenario, you go up and it doesn't go well. Who's going to remember and who's going to care?
that's
Nobody cares.
so
Nobody
when it
cares.
so when I go on stage, I'm like, well, if it goes wrong, no one's going to remember me.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
Negative attitude to have.
yeah. And if it does go well, they will remember you, and that's
Yeah.
good. So but yeah, no one remembers the the bad comedians
Yeah.
or like do a bad comedy.
The
Um,
pros outweigh the cons of getting up on stage every single
that's it.
time.
That's it. And again, everyone bombs.
Everyone
Everyone
bombs.
bombs.
Everyone.
So
Scott, I really appreciate this, mate. Thank you ever
it's
so much
been
for coming
great.
on. And
Oh,
yeah,
thank
thoroughly
you.
enjoyed it.
I really agree. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah. And yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good one.